Okay, this is a quick recap of the class today. I don't actually see VoiceThread on Oaks anymore, so I'm just going to use Zoom. It's a little bit more awkward, but we can get the same thing in here. I'm sorry you have to look at my face. Anyway, here we go. What I'm going to do is share a screen and go to CAD, and we'll go through this process again. All right, so what we were doing essentially is we're opening up under your CAD files, the CFC Historic Buildings documentation, and using this DWG file essentially as, excuse me, a template. It's got a lot of the layers already set up and line weights, as well as the various paper space items here you can see. So don't be put off for it now. It's just trying to all stay in the same basic format so we can exchange files better later. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is to download a file. And to do this, once I get this up, right, you download it and you double click on it, and it shows up here as one of the drawings you've got available to you. And it's messing around with me. My computer's acting funny, so we'll try to do this as best we can. All right, so we go to Insert, and then we go to Attach. I'm just going to try to make sure that I am, in fact, sharing. Yep, I am. All right, so Insert, Attach, and I go look where the attachment is. In this particular case, it is under my desktop. Site plan. Let's just use that one. Open it. It gives me information here. Well, I don't need to worry about this right now. We're just going to specify the insertion point on screen, and we'll settle the issues with scale later on. Rotation, I'm just going to keep that at 0 for now. Okay. And so now it wants to put the drawing someplace. So I'm just going to put it here for the sake of argument and make it big enough so that I can see it. So I'm just dragging the mouse off to the right. Now it should come up. There's the drawing. What we need to do is scale adjust this. Now we just found out in drawing this one that this is from the front of the porch back to the back is 81 feet, 4.5 inches. I'll jot that down, 81 feet, 4.5 inches. What I need to do is scale adjust then this drawing based on that dimension that we were just looking at. And that goes all the way to the back portion of this. Notice that when I run the mouse over the drawing, you can't see it. So what I'm going to do is click on it. And when I do that, automatically these features show up. I'm going to fade it a little bit so I can see my mouse much better. I've done that. Now I can see my mouse. I'm going to hit escape. Now I want to make this the size that it needs to be, correspond with this other building. You notice that the drawing we have here is a lot smaller. This drawing is a lot smaller than that drawing. So what I want to do is get the dimension, which we said was 81, 4.5, and apply that as a scale factor on this other drawing. Now to make this process easier, what I'm going to do is start with typing in units here and making this decimal, for sake of argument, because it's easier to deal with decimal. Say okay. Now when I measure, it'll come up as decimal inches, right? So let's see what we got. I'm going to go to the home screen, go to measure, and I'm going to find out what the measurement is here. Select arc. Nope, I want to measure a line, just the distance, right? So I'm going from here right the way back to here. Notice it comes up at 279.1379. You can write that down, or just remember that it shows up on your command line if you press the little triangle. So now this needs to be converted to 81, 4.5. Okay. So in other words, it needs to be made smaller for the moment. Like I say, this is in inches. So we'll have to make an accommodation for that at the end. But for now, I'm just going to try to convert it based on what we know. So it's 279 going to 81, 4.5. Let's do a quick calculation of 4.5 divided by 12. Should come out to, we have to express this as decimal feet. is 0.33, 0.37, that's right, 81.37 is a decimal conversion of that 81 feet, 4.5 inches. So I need to make this thing smaller. I'm going to grab my calculator, which is hiding over here. Well, that's group selection. Calculator is here, right? And I'm going to clear everything. And I'm going to start here and say, okay, I want to go 81, 4.5 inches, which we said was 81. Hello, I have to plug it in here. 81.37 divided by, and this is the new measurement is 279.1379. I'll say equals this number here. Like I say, it's a good deal smaller, 29.29%. So what I'm going to do is insert type in scale, S-C-A-L-E, enter. Grab this. It's going to ask me for a scale. I guess I'm going to have to tell it to do that here. Scale it. What's happened is it's registering here. Sorry about that. So type in scale, enter, select the objects here, enter, provide a base point. Let's just do it here, the end of here, no problem there. I want to transfer this number down to there, so I'm going to click on this, shows up there. Now I have to come back in and click on this space here and then hit enter. And now it's given it to me in terms of, like I say, it's scale adjusted, but now we need to go from inches to feet, which is because of the way AutoCAD is working right now. So this needs to be made 12 times bigger, right? Inches to feet. So again, scale here, choose a base point, and then say 12. Now we have it theoretically at the same size. Let's see what happens. So now we've scale adjusted it. Let's check it. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, zoom dynamic, right? Pan down, grab the measuring stick. It's giving me a line this time. So I'm going to go from here back up to here. Oh, it's inches. I need to change the units back to architectural. Units, type in units, go to architectural, say okay, and then try it again. Measure from here up to here is 81.3. So yeah, it was supposed to be 81.4.5. So it's pretty dadgum close. Okay. So yeah, we scale adjusted it. That's good. Now what we wanted to do was to draw the floor plan with this thing. Now, an easy way to do it is to draw a polyline around the whole thing and then do the windows. So I'm going to draw a polyline around all of it. Now we've talked before about you can use the measurements and scale it out, or you can try tracing it. If your drawing is done to scale, then you can probably get away for this site plan by doing it this way. For your floor plan, I think you'll want to have it more accurate. So like I say, I need to chamfer these 2 points here. So I'm going to chamfer these two to kind of line it up. Okay. Now I have the outline of the building. We said the building was about 8 inches, the walls were about 8 inches thick. So I'm going to offset that line. It's a polyline. So it's one entity. I only have to click it once. It says 8 inches. It's borrowing the offset from last time. So I hit enter. And I'm going to push this there to there. So now I have what amounts to the whole outline of the plan. All right. So that's given me, the site plan brought in and scaled, and the same process would apply to the floor plan. I'm going to flip over here to the floor plan, which we were working on today, the same building. And remember, we got to this point. What I'm going to do is just recreate this just a little bit. So I'm going to move this stuff down and out of the way. And I'm going to come back here. I'm looking for exterior outline of the building is fine. So what I'm going to do is try to be able to see my dimensions. So I'm going to take a line and start it here. And it looks like I come over this way 1 foot, enter. That gets me to there. And also back up this way 1 foot, enter. And this way 1 foot, enter. And then we come back and it closes. Now, if you want to close, you can hit C, enter. And if you know it's square, there it is. We've got it. Now we want to draw the side of the porch. And the side of the porch is 7 feet, 1.5 inches. So again, I take the line and I start from the edge, which is where the dimensions say we start. Oops, there. And I come this way and it says 7.1.2, which is 7 feet, 1.5 inches. Notice how it's showing up right here. Enter. Now I've gotten to this point. Notice that the dimensions seem to be different from what's actually drawn. So we're going to have to figure that out. For the sake of argument, I'll go ahead up this side area here. It looks like we go up 8, 9, 0, and 10, 11, 2, 8, 9, 0 to the first one. So I'm going to come up. Notice I'm on ortho, so I can actually come up here, and it says 8 feet, 9 inches to there. Theoretically, this is going all the way out here. I'm going to extend this just so that we have this for the porch, right? And then we need to offset this, the difference between those two numbers. So 10, 11, 2 minus 8, 9. Let's say the 2 becomes 6. 8, 9, oh, sorry, 8 feet, 9 inches, my mistake, 8 feet, 9. So 2 just is 2, and 11 minus 9 is 2, 10 minus 8 is 2, so it's 2.22, so it's 2 feet, 2.5 inches, which doesn't look right, does it? Because this thing is only supposed to be a foot. I'm not quite sure what's going on with those dimensions, but I'm going to continue to draw from here back this way, and I'm doing it a total of, we said 2 feet, 2.5 inches. That gets me to there, right? So now, in theory, I'm not quite sure. This must actually refer to the dimension along this wall here because it lines up to it. Okay, I'm with it now. We're looking at a dimension here of, looks like 320 minus 712, or 712 minus 320, that's 2. That becomes 13, that's 11, 6, 3, 11, 2. So it goes out 3, 11, 2. So this is just what that is. I'm going to keep that for the moment. And I'm going to offset this line, the appropriate amount. It's just one line, right? Yep. So I'm going to offset that. What we just calculated was 2 feet, 2.5 inches. And grab it and put it over there. That theoretically is how far that sticks out based on the dimensions. All right, is that right? Let's see, 712 minus 320, it's going to be 311.2, and what did I just say it was? What did I just specify as an offset? 225, I messed up. Oh dear, okay. So I need to reset that. I'm going to erase this. So it needs to be offset. I was looking at the number from before, I'm afraid. So it's 311.2. So I offset there 3 feet, 11.5 inches. Get it to here. Now that starts to look more like the drawing. Yay. Notice how it's having the drawing there does help a little bit. It is as a check when you're doing your dimensions to see how it's working out. So now we've got the outline drawn there. I'm going to erase that and that. Now we've got the outline of the building. This is one line. I'm just going to chamfer that so it reads as the outside of the building. Now we've got the line there. So you've seen I've gone through and done a combination of lines to a particular length, checking it against the dimensions and the drawing. And then now what I need to do is offset these various lines. We said that the thickness of the wall was 8 inches, so I'm going to specify 8 inches and come in here and offset these lines. This is supposed to be the outside line, so I'm going to do that here and here, here. Now I'm going to chamfer these guys here, and chamfer this one again, here, and I've got the outside of the building. Now we decided before we could use these windows that we had here. Where is it? Well, there it is. So I'm going to take this that we did during class and I'm going to move it back. I'm going to grab it by this corner right here, put it back up to this corner right here. And now we've got that corner of the building drawn. Of course, we've got to chamfer a couple of lines and a few things like that here. So I'm going to chamfer these lines. And we're good. Now we set up this window to work with us before, so we're going to try to use the same one again. And we've got this line here that's based on the drawing, you know, where it needs to be. Let's do this just for the sake of argument. I'm going to put the center of this window in this wall, right? Which seems to be the intent here. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy this window somewhere else, just over here. Then I'm going to rotate it. Rotates up here, sorry. This thing by 90 degrees. So I'm on ortho, so that does it for me. Then I move it back out here. Like I say, this machine is giving me trouble today. So go to there. I'm going to grab it by the intersection of these points right here and bring it over and put it on the midpoint of this line. Now I need to go off of ortho, go on to OSNAP and look for midpoint right here, check it. So I lost my window. It's probably underneath the sheet. Like I say, the computer is being weird right now. Okay. So I'm going to have to do that again, it looks like. Copy this up to here, rotate it 90 degrees. I'll put this back on ortho. Now I've finished, then I'm going to move it back over here from the intersection of this line back over to the midpoint. It's not really letting me do this right, is it? I'm going to move P for previous, and this time I'm going to take the ortho off and see if that doesn't make a difference. Okay, now I can put it where I need to. Now I said I wanted to put it on the midpoint. I'm just going to type in mid here. Find out where the midpoint of the line is. Should be right there. I've got the window in place, sort of. I want to make it fit a little bit more like what they said, but that's got the window and that's given us a bit of the floor plan here. The one thing I would do is try to trim out this heavier white line. So what I'm going to do is trim, grab the trim line here and here. I guess it's actually here. And then I'm going to trim these lines out in the middle, there. There. Now I'm going to make this a heavier line back through here. the end point of that. It's giving me a hard time, so I'm going to go back down in here and specify end point. So now we have this, such as it is, beginning of the floor plan. We've got a couple extra lines, which we can get rid of. And we'll work on the windows a little bit later, but this gives us a window set in the middle of that wall, which seems to be about as good as we're going to get with the dimensions that we have. And this gives you that corner set up using a combination of line, offset, and there are a couple of other little points that I will bring up at this point. One is the way we can make it easier to work with this. Like I say, if you're trying to, if this ends up going behind for some reason at some point or other, you're going, where did my drawing go? Right click, draw order. I can send it to the back and I can't see it anymore. Where did my drawing go? Sometimes it happens because of memory issues with CAD. I select it again, I right click it, and I go to draw order, and I say bring to front. There it is. So that's helpful just to know as you're doing this. Also this image. Right now, if you look under the home, once I click on it, it's showing up under exterior outline. We don't really want it there. We want it under images right here. Notice that images is turned off. As soon as I put it under the image, it goes away. Wow. So how do we get it back? Well, we come back over here, we click on the light bulb, and it comes back. So it's a way for us to see what our drawing looks like without the picture being there. And also you're going to want to end up printing it just with this without the picture. So this is another hint along the way. So here we are describing how to trace the drawing for the site plan, how to scale and to draw the drawing for the floor plan. And then we'll approach the elevations again here shortly, but I've already expended my time on Zoom and I've recorded it. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. And those people who weren't in class will have it available to you. I just need to convert it and then put it onto the YouTube and then end up putting a link to YouTube for you guys. The files are too big to have a direct copy in Oaks, I'm afraid. So we will do it this way and this will be online shortly. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and I hope this has been helpful. Talk soon. Like I say, we also decided today that for follow-up, you can send me an email and we can have specialized Zoom sessions with 1 or 2 people. As we go forward, we need to make up for the floor plan and the elevation by next week if we possibly can, so we can spend some time on the design. So let's see how far we can take it. I appreciate your help and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.